So today we are talking to Alexandra Pamphlet. Alex,
Yes,
you're well today?
I'm very well. Yes, thanks,
Good,
Kevin. How are you?
good. Okay. So before we talk about the work that you do, can you just give us a little bit of background about your life and your kind of career and how you got to this point that you're at now?
Yeah, definitely. So I started from studying psychology. Like literally, I always knew I want to be a psychologist. So at least it's a one good thing that I actually became in a profession that I always wanted to be at. I studied psychology in London. I did my undergrads there, then I did my masters there, and I didn't really know what to do next. Like I was really always into clinical psychology. I was interested in so many different, I would say, areas of psychology. And then I came across coaching, and I found out that you can actually put two things together and bring a lot of the psychology and therapy based techniques into coaching. And this is how I went towards qualifying as a coach. But I went through the route that was particularly for psychologists. So that means I
Right.
can have a wider spectrum of the problems I help with. And yeah, I've been coaching and working with clients ever since then, and I just love what I do.
So did you start off as a kind of pure psychologist?
To be honest, I came across coaching while I was still studying. So I was figuring
Okay.
out and doing different, like I worked with prisoners for a while. I worked in mental health facilities. I was volunteering in a lot of places, like literally everyone knew me because I was trying different things. And I really wanted to dedicate a lot of hours when I was a student to just make sure I find my best, I would say, area where I can really feel that's me and I will feel really good helping people at the same time I will feel confident. So pretty much, yeah, I was supposed to become a psychotherapist. I got accepted for a great program in London, and then I decided that that's not me, and I went
Right.
towards the coaching. And so yeah, so it's been over now, Jesus, 7, 8 years I've been coaching
Oh
already
wow.
and
Okay.
doing a bit of both. So it's been a long time.
And it wasn't a difficult decision to make to kind of do that switch.
No, because actually I had a lot of practice and I've done a lot of different, I would say different little courses and stuff like that. And I think I was lucky because I came across amazing people that show me exactly how you can put two things together when it comes not to just be a coach who says, follow me and I'll be your mentor and I will show you what to do, but actually being a coach, which means you don't give advice, you actually coach people through, show them techniques, use therapeutic, like cognitive behavioral approach as well, or solution focused techniques, and you really help people to thrive. So I think I've really found my thing.
Okay, well that's brilliant. Okay, so I know, kind of looking on your website that you are kind of a coach and a counsellor and a psychotherapist and all that. But today we're going to kind of talk about your work around fertility coaching, which I've never really heard of before. So can you give me an idea of what that is and the kind of clients you deal with and the kind of issues that's kind of involved?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll give you a quick background how that happened. I came across fertility coaching, and it was actually my own experience. I always was very passionate in general in working with women. This is why I worked with like female prisoners and helping them get back to community. And so I always felt like, okay, I really connect with women, and I felt really into like empower them to do more and so. And then I came across my own experience when I wanted to become a mom,
Hmm.
and I was so sure that's gonna just happen like this because I was very fit. I felt like, I'm in a good place. I was very happy. Literally just got married, so I felt like I've got like everything in place. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen straight away. And having the psychology background and being a research-based person, I started really researching everything, and I came across lots of different professionals who started, especially in the US, it's more popular, the fertility coaching. And basically it's about showing you that how your mind, how big role your mind plays, how big role your mind plays, how important your mind is when it comes to trying for a baby. So it's not only your fitness, it's not only the, I would say, perception that you're ready to have babies and in general being healthy, but also whether you're not overstressed, whether there are not some sort of anxieties, and whether you're not just overworked as well. So I've done a lot of research, and I've realized that maybe I'm not as stress-free as I thought. I started going through that route, and I covered different things, and I worked with a couple of different people. And I found myself obsessed with the topic. So I decided that, well, first of all, it worked for me, I believe so, as we finally were able to, get pregnant. So I now have two amazing boys, and I really believe that the whole mindset thing and the really hard work I did, including also involving a little bit with my husband as well, because it usually helps when the other person, the partner, is involved as well. It really helped. So yeah, I really went into the topic. I really learned a lot about how it works. I've read tons of different research, and I decided to incorporate it into my own work. And I started working with women who needed a bit more help. So I usually work with women. By no means I say that, going to fertility coaching and you will get pregnant straight away, but there's definitely a lot of research showing that all those techniques, usually cognitive behavioral therapy based sessions, can really help you to get ready and connect the mind and body to increase your chances of becoming pregnant. So I work with a lot of women who either been going through IVF or ready insemination, or simply are stressed that when they're ready, they won't be able to, just get pregnant as soon as they want, because they hear all the time all that pressure. And there's so many people right now actually having issues with pregnancy or even keeping the pregnancy. So I decided to work with them, and and it all started from working with women that want to get pregnant, and then they started coming back to me when they were pregnant already, and then they wanted to also then get support when they became moms. So I'm now working on helping them to get through each of the stages, obviously as long as they need some support.
And is kind of one of the key issues stress? Is that one of the big things that causes problems? Or?
Yeah, but sometimes there's also, the problem with the partner. There's too much pressure. There's a lot of I would say social pressure as well. You hear all the time, you go out with people, and when they feel when they hear that you're with someone, or let's say you just get married, and all the time you hear comments such as oh, you're drinking, so you're not pregnant yet, or about you're 35, and you know that your clock is ticking, and so many different comments make women very stressed, and usually there is a mental block, and very often they come to me with one thing or one idea that they think what is really stopping them, or really making them stressed out or anxious, and they realize a lot of other things that's been going on. They never really put two dots together.
It's fascinating, because I spoke to a woman a couple of weeks ago who does mind-body pain coaching, and it sounds like a very similar kind of thing, which is just kind of working with people to get them to accept and realize what their body's telling them.
Exactly, yeah. And then I think a lot of people can't understand that stress can influence the whole journey. Even if we think of the survival mode that we have as human beings, the stress response that we have, fight or flight. One of the things that happen when we feel stress is our reproductive system, automatically shuts down, because when we're trying to survive, many years before, when we were trying to fight for food or make sure that we all stay safe, the last thing we were thinking at that right moment is about having babies. So our body automatically shuts down and focus on giving us the energy to survive. So if we are in a very stressful job, if we continuously have a lot going on, we don't have time to just stop or pause or slow down, then we don't always realize that actually we are under a lot of pressure, and those sessions can help you tremendously.
Absolutely, yeah. And do you coach? Is it just the kind of the female partner, or do you coach both partners at the same time, or?
I don't do coaching with both. We actually usually involve a little bit the other person, so actually through different exercises and stuff. So I leave, including the partner, I leave it to the person I work with. So if I work with women, and obviously they know there are some mental blockers on their, let's say, husband's side, there are different exercises, there are different methods that obviously, if the partner is open to do the same work, then we usually try to kind of cooperate together. But no, I don't do sessions, I sort of like I have 2 people on the call with me.
Almost like, yeah, not like kind of relationship coaching.
No.
No. So presumably, do you do other types of coaching as well, or are you just focused purely on the fertility coaching?
Right now, I work mainly with women in general and mums. So that's something in the past, I would say 3-4 months. Even though I don't kind of limit myself to working just with, I know, women or just mums or mums to be, it seems like, all the, I would say, all the recommendations I get, all the promotions obviously I've done in terms of the work I do daily, really attracts mainly mums and mums to be or women who are planning at some point in near future to try, for a baby, and they feel like they need some guidance. So it's amazing that I feel like I'm involved at kind of from the early stage, and it doesn't matter whether I continue working with them for a long time or not. But it's just, now being a mom myself, I understand not only from books and research side of the, things, but also understand, from my own experience as well, as like how much support and how much extra time you need for yourself to be the person that's gonna, be responsible for a little baby, and then help raise the family and deal with everything else that's going on around, like
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, isn't it? I mean, that the kind of the whole journey isn't just getting pregnant, is just one part of it, but then it all gets equally as difficult after the baby arrives.
Kind of, yeah.
So I think you're probably going to struggle to answer this question, given that you kind of sound like you wanted to do this kind of work from an early age. But if you could now kind of look back in yourself as a young person, knowing what you know now, what other kind of careers do you think you might have been interested in doing? What else do you think you would have liked to have done?
Probably nothing else.
No.
Like I said, I always want to do that. To be honest, when I was a kid, I always said, because I used to love dancing, and I always said I'm going to have a dance school, but at the same time, I'm going to be a psychologist. Unfortunately, I had to stop dancing due to some injuries, so I just focus on my career as a psychologist, and I'm just lucky enough to always knew what I wanted to do, and I was, I think, stubborn enough to go that route, like move to London, study there, qualify there, open my own practice, and yeah, I think that's exactly, I'm honestly doing right now what I always wanted to do.
So what age did you decide that you wanted to be a psychologist? This is fascinating.
People sometimes don't believe me, but honestly, I was already in my, I think, kind of secondary school. I was probably about 13 or 12,
Really?
and I always knew I used to be a little like a journalist back at school, and I would have like I would be part of the school newspaper, and I would have my own column talking about like all the risk factors, psychological issues that teenage people go through. So yeah, I started being interested in that very early on.
I know you're busy, so I'll let you get crack on. Good. Thank you very much for your time. That's brilliant.